Hello, I'm going to show you how to create a histogram in Excel. Let's go back to my intervals that I've used before. You've seen these intervals in when we did the frequency tables, the relative frequency tables, etc. This time I don't have the frequency in here. What we're going to do is we're going to define our upper class limits because you need these numbers in order to do your histogram. The way the intervals are set up, it looks like they're overlapping, but they're not. And what I have is for the first interval is 10 to 14, but it's not including the number 14. So in other words, remember this data set, I had the ages. At what age did you travel out of the country? Let's say the first time you traveled out the country was at age 14. You would not go into the first interval. You would go into the second interval. So the way the intervals work, the last number in that interval is not included. Okay, so in actuality, this first interval goes from 10 to 13. I have a parenthesis on the 14, which means it goes from 10 to 14, not including 14. So the highest number in this interval would be 13. So I'm going to put 13 here. Let's look at the second interval. It goes from 14 to 18, not including 18. So the highest number in that interval will be 17. For the third interval, it goes up to 21. The fourth interval, it will go up to 25. And the last interval, it will go up to 29. So these are what you call your upper class limits. So now I'm going to show you how to do this in Excel. Okay. Gotta make sure you guys can see all this. Alright, I do it like this. Alright. Maybe I should come over a little bit more. Alright, so the way this is going to work is I put all my data values in column A. So it says data, and I have 25 data values. And then I put my upper class limits in column B, the 13, 17, 21, 25, and 29. So we're going to make a histogram. And you need an add-in on your Excel called data analysis. Once you add it in, it will appear up at the top right. If you don't have it, you have to install it. So it depends on what version of Excel that you have. But you can do a search and see how to install this data analysis tool. So I'm going to click on data analysis, and a box will come up that says analysis tools, and I'm going to click on histogram, and then you're going to put where your data values are. So my input range goes from A2, that's my first data values in cell A2, all the way down to cell A26. So I'm going to type A2 colon A26. My bin range would be the upper class limits. So I'm going to put in B2 to B6. B2 colon B6. And down here I'm going to click chart output. I'm going to make sure that has a check mark in it. Then I'm going to hit OK. And as you can see, let me scoot this over. You'll get it looks like a frequency table. If you remember before when we did the frequency tables, our numbers came out as 1, 0, 15, 7, and 2. So basically this is your frequency table. And over here is your histogram, but we're going to clean it up. So what we can do is we can change the name of these bins. So it indicates the intervals that we have on our assignment. So the first interval was 10 to 14. The second interval is 14 to 18. The third interval is 18 to 22. The last interval is 22. The fourth interval is 22 to 26. And then the last interval was 26 to 30. So as you can see, it changes the name or the numbers or the vertical axis on this histogram here. Let me make this histogram a little bigger so you can see. Okay, so now we can this basically it looks like a bar chart, but we can make it a histogram. You have to clean it up. You got to close the gaps. So what we can do is double click on any one of the bars, and where it says gap width, you scroll it all the way over to 0, and that will close the gaps. And you hit close, and this is your histogram. Okay, I hope this helps.